I don't think the game was bad. I I enjoyed the game. I think it was fun. It was okay. I would give it a 6.5 out of 10, but this is just my personal opinion, and I don't think it's objectively correct or true. I would love to hear what you think about the points I make and what I didn't like, but just please don't hate me. I know this fandom has a bit of an obsession on people really loving the game and just enjoying the way they did, which is really toxic. But I won't let that stop me from sharing my idea. Now, I want to start it off by saying that Undertale is one of my favorite games ever. It's at least top five for me. And the first two chapters of Deltarune were pretty close. They aren't as good as the Undertale. That's a given, but they are pretty fun. And the reason for that, I think chapter one and two really explored so many characters. The first one, you get to meet the trio and understand like their personalities, how they think, what they do. You get a lot of development for Susie, especially, which was really fun. You get to understand the core mechanics of the game. You get to fight, have fun. The side characters were really fun. Also, for example, Lancer, Jevil, even the little guys that call you boss. Those were pretty cool and funny. Um, the second chapter, I think, was also pretty fun because it didn't have as many side characters as the first one, but that just means it had more space and time to explore the main characters. So the trio, you got a lot more development and understanding of how they function, what they do. You also get to meet a pretty good antagonist, which was the queen, and some side characters that were really fun. For example, Spamton, even Birdly, and my favorite character, Noel, was just so good in that chapter. Chapter 3 and 4, however, feel like they're missing that. So the enemies are just not as fun as they were. For season 4, you get the Titan, which just doesn't have a personality at all. You cannot talk to him. You cannot do anything. He's just a damage sponge that you keep hitting over and over and over again. The only interesting character added in chapter 4 was the old guy. Other than that, everyone else was just lackluster. And I hate the way they try to make you think they involved Toriel for chapter 3. She was asleep during the entire time. For chapter 4, it was just revealed at the end that she wasn't even there. I really, really hated that and pissed me off so much because it feels like they're dangling these little important pieces of lore in front of you and developments and then just completely covering it up or pretending like it didn't happen. For example, the prophecy in the fourth chapter as well, after like spending the entire chapter building up to it and the end of it, you don't even get to realize what it is or just see it, which I understand some people say is the point of the game. But after 16 hours of gameplay, I think it's fair to give some idea of how the world works or what it's all based on. Right now, I can say I know nothing about what happened to Asgore, how he got separated from his family, or what he did. I don't know how the fountains exactly work, what they do. I don't get the involvement of Chris and the player character and how like what happened. Carol, Des, um, all of that, what happened to Undyne, Sans and his existence and his importance. Just have nothing to say about that. I understand that some of it was revealed in secret areas and secret boss fights. But to me, as a casual player, I'm not ready to just keep loading up saves and trying to figure out everything. I watched some YouTube videos and I still can't say much about the game or like the world of the game, which to me just pisses me off a lot. I also hated chapter 3. I was never a fan of Zelda. I never played it as a kid, so that entire gameplay section, which was 80% of chapter 3, just felt like slop to me. It felt boring and just uninteresting. No characters also in chapter 3 that were interesting to talk to or develop with, except for the TV guy. What was he? Tenna. That guy was kind of cool. He was funny, but he still wasn't that interesting. He was kind of just generic. The Knight and Titan were abysmal. And yeah, that's about all of my complaints, really. I also hated the climbing in chapter 4. I think it was kind of clunky and had a lot of input delay. I didn't like that at all. And I also really, really hated, and it got so under my skin when I got S rank on the second round in chapter 3, and then I tried to fight the secret boss, and I went to the secret area and was exploring for like 30 minutes. I was then hit with I can't do anything unless I get S rank on the first round, which it just pissed me off so much because there was no way to get back to it, I think, or I didn't really try. I just assumed there was no way to get back to it. So yeah, that's about all I have for complaints. I'd love to hear your opinions about it, but just please don't be close-minded. Try to understand where I come from. I don't have as much time, and I'm not as interested to just discover everything and explore everything just to get to understand what the game is about.